record. Okay.
Namo Nuri Savariyandam, Namo Nuri Savariyandam, Namo Nuri Savariyam, Namo Nuri Savariyam, Namo Nuri Savariyavati Savanam, Omkara Mindu Sanyuktam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Chey Omkara Namo, Manganam Bhagavanayo, Manganam Ukkamu, Manganam Kunkundari, Jain Mosumanganam Namasamaspada. Swanubhutya Jatasti Chitsuvaya Davaya Vivaha Niyusani.
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Aryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Vajjanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Savanam. Param Bindu Sanyuktam Nityan Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Cheva Omkaraya Namo Namah. Namal Samay Saraya Swanu Bhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimiranjanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmetam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayvantavarto Omkaranada Jinano Jayvantavarto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayvantavarto Netirthachara Jagama Jayvantavarto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamela Sarvesi Dane Vandi Kahon Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Ekasuddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamay Khare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nati Are Jamanetra Te Majnana Nati Karaka Nati Vedaka Are Jane Jakaram Hodaya Nirajara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Sri Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. Today is May 10th, 2016, Tuesday, and we are continuing our discussion on substance. In the substance, we have finished the general substance, then we went in the soul as a specific substance, then we went on matter, we finished that matter, then right now we are on a medium of motion. So now we have medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, 4 substances to be taken care of. Most important were the soul and the matter. Medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time are important, but for the discussion purpose, it will become kind of shorter and straightforward. Reason? They are a pure substance. They were never been in the impure form. They're eternally pure and they will remain pure forever. Now, if you are a straight A student in your class, what can be described about you? Sanjay Modi is a great kid. Preeti is a great student. Ketan is a very fantastic student. What more can you say besides that? You are done with that. When we have to talk about somebody who's not right person, yeah, he's weak in math and he's okay in physics and he's somewhat better in extracurricular activity. And so you can give lots of description for the person. So here also, when we are in medium of motion, dharmastika, medium of rest, adharmastika, space, akash, kal, time. Excuse me. These are 4 inert, pure, eternal substances. So we have somewhat less to talk about. We just talk the specific characteristics, specific attribute by which they are known. That's what we have to understand, that part. Medium of motion, dharmastikai, medium of rest or dharmastikai, akash and kal, space and time. Medium of motion, dharmastikai, or some places it is also written as dharma. Medium of rest or dharmastikai, or lots of places Acharya Bhagavan will write down adharma. Space, akash, time, kal. 4 substances are universal, pure, eternally pure. Their modes, their modifications are also pure. For a soul, I can have a pure modification or impure modification. Matter can have a pure modification, impure modification. But medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, they all have pure modifications only. They all 4, and as we talk, each one will be talking in detail, but all 4 of them, they have their own special characteristics by which they are known. For example, how do I know that this is a soul? Remember, we just went through a good exercise, ativyapti, avyapti, asambhav dosh. Ativyapti means characteristics found more than one substance. Avyapti, characteristics found only in certain part of a substance but not all. And avyapti means improbable characteristics. So these 3 we had talked about it. Same way. So what is the characteristics of soul? How can I say that this substance is definitely soul? If I can see consciousness in that substance, then that substance has to be soul only, because that characteristics of consciousness will be seen in each and every living being, whether it's a 1 sense Nigod cell or 2 sense, 3 sense, 4 sense, 5 sense human being, or a heavenly angel, or infernal body, or the plants and animals, or you can take Aryan Bhagwan or Siddha Bhagwan, any living creature when we take it, then that creature will have consciousness element present. Everybody has it. So that's an absolute characteristic. Same way, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, they have their own specific characteristic by which they are known. Remember, each substance has an infinite attributes within. Remember, I said 5 times infinite. We have talked about that one. Right now, we are not going to go in that subject. That means there are infinite attributes are present in a given substance, out of which we are going to pick up only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of those attributes by which we are going to say this has to be soul, or this has to be matter, or this has to be medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. So, for example, if, as we said before, 2 white edible powder I give you in 2 different bowls, and I tell me what is this substance. So you will taste it and you will just say, this has to be salt, or this has to be sugar. That substance, that white powder, edible white powder, has infinite attributes within. You picked up only 1 taste. When it was sweet, you said sugar. When it's salty, you just said salt. So from 1 characteristics only, you decided this has to be a certain substance only. So same way here, Same way here in this situation. Medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time also, they have infinite attributes. We are not going to go through infinite attributes. We are just going to pick one for our purpose, and we just said this has to be medium of motion, this has to be medium of rest, this has to be space, this has to be time. All those four inert substances, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, they each one have one characteristics that we will be dealing with, and that one characteristics is in each one that they act as an instrumental cause. They have the characteristics to act as an instrumental cause, to act as nimit. Now remember, we have gone through that nimit definition. Again, we will go through it till it becomes second nature for us. Nimit, instrumental cause, is the thing when an act is getting done in a principal thing, when an act is getting done in a given substance, then favorable situation, substance, thing present is called instrumental cause. જ્યારે એક દ્રવ્યમાં પોતાના ઉપાદાનથી કાર્ય થાય છે ત્યારે હાજર રહેલી અનુકૂળ પરિસ્થિતિ, વ્યક્તિ, વિશેષ, વસ્તુને નિમિત્ત કહેવામાં આવે છે. Remember, we have to have this clear understanding of this definition of nimit, because this is the basis. This is the basic. If I'm not sure about this definition, then there are lots of possibility for getting confusion in the future. So once again, instrumental cause means nimit. That means when a principal thing is performing an act, then associative favorable things or situation present is known as instrumental cause. This instrumental cause simply present but does not take care of in the action of the principal cause. Instrumental cause is present but does not take any active part in the principal thing's action. For example, water has to be present for fish to swim. So water is an instrumental cause, water is nimit. Fish is a principal cause, principal thing which wants to move. When fish wants to move, then water produces vehicle. Water is simply acting as instrumental cause. Water did not do anything to the fish. Fish did because of fish, temperature of water did not go up, temperature did not go down, volume of the water didn't go up, volume of the water didn't go down. Water remained same. Nothing changed in the water. Simply water was present in that action of the fish to swim. Similarly, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, they all four act as an instrumental cause in their particular form, and we'll be talking what that particular form is. But that instrumental cause with a particular characteristics is the main identifying feature of medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. Having said all these things, now we are coming to medium of motion. Let me bring the slides. Medium of motion. Okay, here it is. Share the screen. Share the screen. Share. Okay, so last time we were on this slide. So real characteristic of medium of motion. What's the real characteristic by which medium of motion is known? It's called Gati Hetutva. This Gujarati word has a really deep meaning that we really have to understand, and same thing in the on the slide, that on the bullet what we are talking. Means it's an instrument. The real characteristic of medium motion means instrumental cause. From now onwards, we'll be writing IC to save the space. Instrumental cause for a substance for its motion. What kind of substance? Substance which is capable of moving by self. Any substance you can take it in the universe. We know about 6 universal substances. 6 universal substances. Now, I just said take any substance which has capacity of moving. Who can move out of the 6 guys? Only 2 guys can have capacity to move by themselves. Soul and matter. Soul and matter. They only 2 have a capacity to move by themselves. It is called Kriyavati Shakti. It is called dynamism property. Dynamism property by which a given substance, means soul or matter, can move by themselves, and when that movement occurs of a soul or matter, at that time medium of motion provides instrumental cause for its motion. This is appears to be a little complicated characteristic, but again we'll dissect it and we'll understand. As we said, instrumental cause, that water for the fish. Remember, water's presence is there, but water cannot do anything to the fish. Medium of motion is present, but cannot do anything to the movement of a substance. It's simply present as a vehicle. So, my pencil over here wants to move from point A to point B. This pencil wants to move from point A to point B. This movement of the pencil occurred by itself because this is a matter, and matter has a capacity to move by itself. Okay, let's put the pencil on the side. My finger here moved from point A to point B. This finger moved from point A to point B. This finger has, how many things are present in this finger? This finger is a matter. But there is also presence of soul's element present in along with this matter. So the soul wanted to move along with the finger, and finger decided to move by itself. So soul and finger both moved together. Means soul has a capacity to move, finger has a capacity to move, and for their movement, medium of motion provided instrumental cause. Medium of motion is just like the water for the fish. So my finger, means this finger having soul element and matter elements both together, they want to move from point A to point B, and at that time medium of motion provided instrumental cause. So that's a characteristics of medium of motion. If this is a fish is moving, then water is simply a vehicle, but water's presence was there. Water did not do anything. Same thing, medium of motion is present. Medium of motion did not do anything. Simply it was present as an instrumental cause. What's the instrumental cause? When action is getting done by this finger and the soul element, then action is getting done by this principal element, that is finger, having a matter and a soul element. At that time, favorable situation present in the form of instrumental cause, that's a medium of motion, is an instrumental cause. That's it. So that's a characteristic of medium of motion. So I am walking. I'm walking by myself. Medium of motion simply providing as an instrumental cause for me. So this is what characteristics of medium of motion is there. We have the reference. If they're interested, the projects are and Gnana 1, Sword 6, stanza 32. Anyway, so now let's go to the next thing now. Now, remember, what did we say? Real characteristics of medium of motion. Real characteristics means every part of medium of motion, these characteristics will be seen. As we said, for example, in the soul. Soul has a consciousness. Soul has a knowing capacity and perception capacity. Knowing and perception combined together is called consciousness. Knowing and perception combined together is called consciousness. Jnana, darshan, બંનેને સાથે કરો તો એને ચૈતન્યત્વ કહેવાય. તો ચૈતન્યત્વ એ આત્માનો ગુણ છે, આત્માનું લક્ષણ છે. Where is this consciousness seen? Any living subject, any living object, whether it's a nigod or whether it's a liberated soul as a siddha or in between any living being, consciousness will be present in that soul. Similarly, here medium of motion, whatever part of the medium of motion you dissect, that has one characteristic, that it is being an instrumental cause for a substance for its motion. This is really, if we understand this part alone right now, medium of rest, space and time will be easier to understand. So if there is slightest doubt, raise your hand, let me know about it. We can just go back again. Because this is really a critical point that this is going to be applying to all remaining 4 substances as an instrumental cause in a different perspective, but instrumental cause for motion. That's a medium of motion. Okay. Now these characteristics, this lakshan, these characteristics, as we said, has to be pure and perfect. Then every part of medium of motion has to have this representation. So this medium of motion is a it has an imperceptibility. Means it is not perceived. Means if this is a pencil, you can see this is a pencil. This is a writing pad, you can say it's a writing pad. This is my earphones, you can see it's an earphone. There's a perceptibility is there. Imperceptibility means by physical senses, touch, taste, smell, seeing, hearing. By physical senses, I cannot perceive. So there is the medium of motion has this specific characteristic of imperceptibility. It cannot be perceived with the eyes, ear, nose, throat, skin. Okay. Now, is this imperceptibility characteristics perfect for this substance? There is ativyapti dos, extension of this character beyond the determined object. Now, what's a determined object? Medium of motion is our determined object right now. Medium of motion has an imperceptibility, but this is not a complete absolute characteristics of medium of motion. Why? Because now this example given over here. What is ativyapti dosh? Ativyapti dosh means white color animal is cow. If I take this white color as a specific attribute of the cow, then there are also other animals with a white color. So this characteristics is having Ativyapti dosh. A goat could be white, a donkey could be white. So white color alone does not mean animal with a white color has to be cow only, because it is seen different objects also it is seen. So this characteristic is not perfect for the cow, white color. That's called Ativyapti dosh. So here what happens? Medium of motion is having imperceptibility, but imperceptibility is also seen in soul, medium of race, space, and time substances. So it is present in more than medium of motion, so it's Ativyapti dosh. So these characteristics cannot be perceived as absolute characteristics for medium of motion. Yes, medium of motion has an imperceptibility, but other things are also having imperceptibility. So we want that this one imperceptibility attribute present in a medium of motion cannot be the characteristics for that substance only. Okay, let's see next one. Occupy only one space point, ek pradeshi. Remember, Pradesh means a space point we have defined before. If I take this piece of paper, divide into two, further into two, further into two, and come to a point in which there is impossibility for making it two different parts out of it. And that teeny tiny, slightest, smallest possible thing that we see is called one space point. Now, I'm using the word can see, but one cannot. Us as an ordinary human being, we cannot see that one Pradesh, one space point. In fact, innumerable material particles come together and make one karma particle, and we even cannot be able to see that karma particle also. With having innumerable atoms getting together. So this space point is only perceived by omniscient Lord. And who occupies one space point? Let's see. This is asambhav dosh, improbable fault, because medium of motion occupies the whole cosmic space, and cosmic space has innumerable space points, asankyat pradeshi lokakash. So if I say that the characteristics of medium of motion is when it occupies only one space point, and over here author says it's an improbable fault because medium of motion occupies innumerable space point of the cosmic space. Example here. For example, if I say soul has a color, or soul is perceivable by senses, or soul does not have any, if I say soul has a color, or soul is having no forms, soul does not have any color. Soul does not have any color because soul has no forms. Soul is imperceptible. Soul cannot be perceived by any physical means, any physical senses. So soul has a color, if I say, that means it's an improbable fault. That's the example. Now over here, substance occupying only one space point is only one that is a time substance, and also one atomic particle occupies one space point. One atomic particle can occupy one space point, or one time unit can occupy one space point. Every other substances, they occupy more than one space point. So if I say that a medium of motion has a characteristics of occupying one space point, then it's an improbable fault and it's not a right characteristics. Having said that, we go to next one. Medium of motion can move by itself. Means gaman agman sahit. Gaman means to go, agman means to come. Gamna gaman. It can go, it can stop. It can come, it can stop. Could that be the characteristics of medium of motion? Well, remember we said that medium of motion helps a moving substance. It provides instrumental cause. So that means medium motion is also moving. It says improbable fault, asambhav dosh. Why? Because medium motion is only one unit, and it occupies the whole cosmic space with innumerable space point, and it's immobile. It doesn't move at all. So here example. What's the improbable fault? Soul has a color. That's an improbable fault. That characteristics having improbable fault. It's a faulty characteristics. Here, only soul and matter can move by themselves. Medium motion, medium race, space, and time, all four substances are inert, pure, and immobile, and they are imperceptible. So, medium motion helps. Medium motion helps for soul and matter to move, but medium motion does not move. In the fish, stationary. Only fish is swimming. Similarly here, medium motion is stationary. Only it provides instrumental cause. As a result, me as a soul and my body as a pudgal, matter, they can move by themselves. Having perceptibility. Well, we already say over here that the medium motion is imperceptible. So perceptibility is going to be improbable fault, asambhav dosh. Same as soul has a color, because only matter substance has perceptibility. Out of 6 universal substances, only matter substance has perceptibility, means it can be perceived by physical senses, by 5 senses. Touch, taste, smell, seeing, hearing. So, medium motion cannot be having perceptibility. Murtatva, word. And last thing it says, non-inclusion of vyapti dosh. Remember, what did we take? We took ati vyapti dosh here. Ati vyapti means white color animal is cow, but other animals can also have white color. So it's an extension of characteristics beyond the determined object. Improbable fault, we talked about it. There are 3 examples we talked it. Now, non-inclusion of vyapti dosh. What is avyapti dosh? Non-inclusion fault. What is that one? Means certain characteristics within a given substance is seen, but not in all. For example, if I take soul and I said soul's characteristics is to have omniscience. You mean every soul has omniscience right now? Manifested omniscience right now? No. Only Kevali Bhagwan and Siddha Bhagwan has omniscience. Rest of the souls, they don't have it. So if I say soul's characteristics is to have omniscience, means it's a non-inclusion dosh, a non-inclusion fault. Some souls, they have it, some they don't have it. Or if I say soul's characteristics is to have wrong faith. Yes, 1 sense life, they have wrong faith. 2 sense, they have wrong faith. 3 sense, 4 sense, they have wrong faith. 5 sense humans, there are lots of humans, they have wrong faith. Mithyatva. Animals and plant kingdom, they have wrong faith. Celestial beings, lots of celestial beings, they have wrong faith. Lots of infernal souls, they have wrong. So lots of souls, they have wrong faith. But somebody having enlightenment, somebody having samyak darshan, then he does not have wrong faith. He does not have mithyatva. So if I say wrong faith is the characteristic of a living being, that is a non-inclusion fault. So here, can we have non-inclusion fault in a medium of motion or not? Then what it is, how do we say non-inclusion fault? Thing present in some and not in all part of a substance. Like for example, wrong faith is present in certain living beings, others they may have right faith. Same way, omniscience is present in some living being, others they don't have omniscience. So, thing present in some and not in all part of a substance, that is called a non-inclusion fault. But here, medium motion is one only, it is eternally pure, and so there is nothing like one part of the medium motion is impure, other part of medium motion is pure. It's an eternally pure whole thing. So there is no room for non-inclusion fault in medium of motion. Okay. Having said that, because this is actually this one is a whole thing is a chapter of fault. Ativyapti dosh, asambhav dosh, avyapti dosh. And these are the things that any substance having characteristics without having this 3 fault, ativyapti, asambhav, and avyapti. All these 3 faults are not present in a given substance, and then that characteristics is the important identifying characteristics for that substance. For example, as we said, consciousness, even if you see the bacterium, or if you see the nigod, means one cell, infinite living being present in that cell. Concept of virus, that the way we know in science today in medicine. Those cells, those living being also has consciousness, extremely microscopic, extreme minimal presentation, but it's there. Siddha Bhagwan has a perfect presentation of a consciousness, and in between all kind of varieties of consciousness are present. So consciousness is the characteristics of a substance. Similarly, here medium of motion, what is the characteristics without any ativyapti, asambhav, or avyapti dosh? Means it acts as an instrumental cause for a substance in its motion. This is the characteristics of medium of motion. Having said that, let's go to the next one. Some characteristics of medium of motion. Further, now we are taking medium of motion by itself and see what are the things I can see inside. Now, it has absence of touch, taste, color. That means it has having imperceptibility, means amurtatva. Remember, medium motion is imperceptibility characteristics, but that characteristic can also be present in the other. But now we are talking medium motion alone. Here I have in front of me medium motion. What are the things I can see in medium motion? I can see imperceptibility. It's imperceptible, therefore having no sound. It's a ashabda. the sound, if you remember on the matter when we are talking about sound, two things, when they hit each other, then the sound is produced. This medium of motion is only one substance by completely encompassing the whole whole cosmic space. So there are no two things to hit each other to produce sound. So it has characteristics of no sound. It's spread through the cosmic space. It's a whole thing. Whatever the shape of the cosmic space, medium of motion is the same space. So it has inseparability from the space point of the cosmic space. So it's a ayut siddha. That's how you see this, a Sanskrit word. So it is spreaded. The medium of motion is spreading through the whole cosmic space. It occupies the whole cosmic space. That's why it's a vast, vishal. It's a huge, just like the cosmic space. What's a cosmic space? Cosmic space is all the universe, whatever we see right now, this earth, which is a minuscule part of the cosmic space. Then when we see the moon and sun system and the planets as are circulating around the sun, they are part of the cosmic space. When we go to the when we see the stars, millions and billions of stars, they are part of the cosmic space. When we go to the Milky Way, where the infinite sun systems are there, and there are huge amount of Milky Ways are there, they are also part of the cosmic space. And so this medium of motion has spread through the whole thing as a cosmic space. It's a huge, really huge one. Now we call medium of motion as a substance. As a substance. When there is a substance, then they have origination, cessation, and constancy characteristics. Remember, as we have said before, દરેક દ્રવ્યની ઉત્પાદ વ્યય ધ્રુવ પર્યાય હોય છે. Means every substance has a modification. Just take the example of the ocean and the waves. Waves, they come, originate, and they break, disintegrate, and gets absorbed into the ocean. Another wave comes, originates, disintegrates, gets absorbed into the ocean. So same way, in every substance, every time, every samay, there is origination, cessation, and constancy characteristics. For example, my finger is over here, wants to move down over here. My finger over here moved from point A to point B. At that time, in this area of the medium of motion, provided instrumental cause for this finger to move. So during that time, medium of motion has a mode originated, mode disintegrated. It just helped me, it helped the fingers to move. Origination, when finger stop, that mode disintegrated. Origination, disintegration, and constancy remain. So medium motion has origination, cessation, constancy. Me as a soul has a knowledge attribute. This knowledge attribute has a knowledge mode. My knowledge mode originates, my knowledge mode disintegrates, my knowledge attribute remains constant. Right now, for example, I am doing the function of speaking. So my knowledge attribute throws the mode which coincides with the spoken words. So originated, sentence is over, that mode disintegrated. So that happens to soul, same way to other substance, same way to medium of motion also. So utpat, vyay, dhruv is a characteristic of medium of motion also. It's an eternal, nitya, and is a non-doer, non-performer of any act of any other substance. Swayam or karya. It's eternal and it's a non-doer of any other substance. For example, I'm the soul. Can I do something to you as a soul? I can't do anything. Can I do something to this pencil as a matter? No. Can pencil do something to me? No. Can you do something to me? No. Each substance in the universe are independent. They cannot interfere in anyone's working things. Then Ketan says that I have a patient came and a very preemie baby came and I treated the patient and patient survived and patient did good. So did I do the good to the patient or not? Did I do something did Ketan do something to the patient or not? Well, what Ketan had is only inclination that I'm going to treat. His finger and physical body started working, writing the orders, etc. That child, that preemie baby was supposed to live, so that child lived. You are giving Ketan is giving same treatment to two different children. One dies and other one survives. Why? Because that child has its own function to do. One's function was to survive, other function was to die, and for both of them, Ketan was working as an instrumental cause. So Ketan was non-doer. It appears that he did lots and lots of work. He sat down with the child for a whole night. One cannot do anything to the other substance. That's a principle Gurudev Sri put it on, and he explained in great detail. These kind of things will come again and again, so we are not going to go in detail about non-doer things because it's a chapter by itself. It can take several hours to complete the chapter. Anyway, it's indifferent. Medium motion is indifferent because it's pure, it's a neutral, and it's an instrumental cause to movable soul and matter substances. It's a udasin nimit. It's a neutral instrumental cause. Neutral means that water is neutral for the fish. Water cannot do anything to the fish. It's simply present, neutral. Same way, this medium motion is neutral, cannot help me to move or substance to move. It simply produces vehicle. It says this is Greek and Latin. How can it be instrumental cause and not helping? How can Ketan be instrumental cause and helping or not helping to the child? You do your work, child does its own work, and whatever happens, end result, it all depends whatever is going to happen. Not because of your importance or your knowledge or anything. That kind of things I should keep in the back of my mind so I don't become arrogant. So it's a neutral instrumental cause for movable soul and matter substances. So these are some of the characteristics of medium of motion. So if you are just walking around and suddenly medium of motion shows up and says, hey, tell me who I am. Well, are you having the imperceptibility? Are you having no sound? Are you occupying the whole space point of the universe? Are you huge, vast? You have Utpat Vedru, or you are Swayam Siddha, or are you neutral instrumental cause? Then you are medium of motion. So these are the characteristics. Some of the characters, out of which most important characteristics is number 5, through which medium of motion is seen. Because this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they are also seen in medium of rest also. So these are the things that we have to keep in mind. Okay, next we can go for it. Is a Dynamism property. Dynamism property is very important thing that we have to understand. I'm just looking for something, and it's okay. Dynamism property is very important thing because we have to understand for medium of motion what is dynamism property. Dynamism property is Kriyavati Shakti. What is Kriyavati Shakti? If the thing by which, by having the presence of the thing, a substance is capable of moving by itself. If I have dynamism property within me, then me as a soul has a capacity to move by myself. Dynamism property means I move because of my own capacity. Who has it? Soul and matter can move by themselves. Wait a second. Soul can move, I can understand, but matter can also move by itself? Yes. Look, this pencil right now, I'm going to let it go and it fell down. How did it happen? Over here, pencil is there and it fell down. How did that motion occurred? Because of pencil's own capacity to move by itself, because this pencil has a dynamism property. Pencil is a matter, so matter has a dynamism property. Now you're going to say, this makes no sense to me. All right, I'm just going to come back to that. Let's go to the third bullet. Medium of motion simply provides instrumental cause. In this matter, sorry. Medium of motion is simply providing instrumental cause. This pencil moved from point A to point B, and at that time, medium of motion simply provided as an instrumental cause. Fish wants to swim from point A to point B. Water simply provided as a vehicle, as an instrumental cause. Medium of motion does not inspire soul and matter to move. Water does not inspire fish to move. Medium of motion does not inspire soul and matter to move. Making this point, now let's come back to this. Soul and matter can move by itself. Possibly I can understand soul can move by itself, but matter can move by itself? I don't buy that one. That's an argument on the table right now. Well, we all went through chemistry in the high school and college. What did we learn about atom? Science atom. What did we learn? Proton is there, electrons are there, electrons have their circuit, and electron keeps on moving and moving and moving. Who goes there to move the electron? Are you there to move the electron? No, electrons are moving by themselves. Any substance you take hydrogen, you take oxygen, or you take whatever substance you want to take it. Any element you want to take it. Those electrons are having their own circuitry and they keep on moving. So, matter has a dynamism property. Okay, we talked microscopic example. Now I'm going to give a macroscopic example. Right now, it's the evening. Yesterday, my grandkids were there and we had a small hill. So we went on the top of the hill. Sun was setting. And grandkids said, hey, grandma, where did the sun go? So grandma said, sun went to India. So grandkids comes and tells her, daddy, we saw the sun going to India. Now, did the sun move? No, but earth is moving, right? Who went to move the earth? Earth is moving by itself. So macroscopically, we can say that matter can move by itself. Microscopically, I can say that things can move by itself. So then, why there is a question in my mind that every matter can move by itself? Gurudev put this radical, not radical, but at that time for the society, it was a kind of radical principle. And what Gurudev said? Motor, the car moves by itself because car is a matter substance. Car can move by itself. So people used to make fun and they said, oh, Songat's car moves by itself. Songat car moves by water and not by gasoline. They're making fun of it. But seriously thinking about it, matter can move by. So now I'm sitting in a car going from point A to point B. What is happening at the time? I am the soul. I have capacity to move by itself from point A to point B, right? Okay. My body is a matter. Matter has a capacity to move from point A to point B, right? It can move by itself, yes, okay. Then I'm sitting in the car. Soul and matter are sitting in the car. Car is also matter. Car has a capacity to move. So at that particular point, car's paryay, car's modification, car's transformation, car's mode was to go from point A to point B because car is a matter also. So car moved by itself. Me as a soul moved by itself. My body moved by itself. Everybody were independent. All three things were independent. Car was independent. Soul was independent. My body was independent. They all were moving. It just shows that there's things happening. That I sat down in the car, I put the key, I started the engine, I put the accelerator, and the car started moving. Not necessarily. Put as much accelerator as you want. There is no battery in the car. Will the car move by you? So this microscopic principle, they really explain to us about the whole universe's independence. So matter moves by itself. So this pencil moved by itself. Yes, my fingers were instrumental cause, holding and let it go. My fingers, they were instrumental cause only. But pencil moved by itself. So this is very important dynamism property. Only soul and matter, they have it. How do you prove soul has a dynamism property? I am moving from point A to point B every day. Or if this person dies right now, what happens to soul? Soul moves and goes out and goes to whatever the next life it is supposed to take it. So soul moves in the cosmic space by itself. Okay, this soul now finally liberates. Mahavir Swami got liberation. He is sitting and his body gets separated from the soul, and the soul by itself in a straight line goes to Adobe of Siddha in one samay, because soul can move by itself. So the soul can move by itself, matter can move by itself, and medium motion simply providing vehicle for them to move. But it's my own vision. I don't want to move. Medium motion will not let me force to move. I want to move. Medium motion says, hey, I'm ready to give you a vehicle. That's it. Vehicle through which you can move. So this is dynamism property. So this is very important thing to understand. It gives an independence of each and every substance of the universe. And these are the things that we have to learn. I think our time is coming to an end. So if there's any question, we can talk. I mean, we can take the question right now.
But you said about this Panch Tattva that this media of motion,
Medium of motion, yeah.
inert,
Yeah.
and the other substance like Adharmastika, Akash,
In cars.
all these things are inert because they don't move, because they are present everywhere.
They are present, they don't move, and they are pure.
Okay.
They are pure, present, and do not move.
Okay.
And soul and matter can move by themselves,
So the only thing happens that when the pencil was dropping,
Yeah.
actually passing through different
Media of motion.
media of motions. That's all.
See, media of motion is spread through the whole universe, right? So
Right.
it is present everywhere.
Right. That's the point.
Yeah, right. See, I'm a fatty guy. Fat is present all over the body for me, for example,
That's correct.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Was there any other question maybe? No? Okay. Shall we do the closing? जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देता हूँ नौ नमो काम नमो इंद्रम Thank you very much.